Hey guys, it's been about a week since I talked to you last. I thought I would just check in with everyone, give you an update, hopefully give you a little encouragement too. Um, First off, I wanted to say huge thanks to everyone for just your responses last week. Last week on Wednesday, I kind of gave you guys an update on what's happening with the gym. Um, Specifically how we were asking of you to keep your memberships going, and then also to reach out if you had some financial need, and also for others to volunteer if you felt so led to support the athletes who could use a financial pickup this next month. So to kind of like give you a little more background on that, first off, I wanted to just kind of say like the whole goal of what we're doing right now is we have two full-time coaches, and some of our athletes are feeling the pinch right now, possibly losing jobs, plus possibly going to unemployment. Our goal right now is to support our full-time coaches. We want to ensure they have a job that they don't have to worry about or fear that it's going to go away. And to be honest, I feel they have a lot to offer though too. Is I'm asking a lot of Tom and Rachel to make your memberships worthwhile, to give you guys plenty of challenges, to give you a lot of contact points, to give you an opportunity to experience the gym and our CrossFit community together, even while we're stuck at home. To be honest, if we weren't doing that, I would fear for a lot of our sanity, myself included. If I didn't have, the you guys on Facebook, you guys on SugarWOD, on Instagram to kind of like help motivate me, I have no idea if I'd be getting my daily workout in. So I'm asking them to keep this just this culture of health alive, even though we're stuck at home. And I think because it's inconvenient, it's even more important than ever. And as the stressors go up in life, again, it's more important than ever. As your kids are home with you, it's more important than ever. So I thank you so much. The response this last week has been great. We've had a handful of athletes who have gone on scholarship, and we've had more than that offer, to the point where I've even told a handful of athletes who are wanting to help out with the scholarship to say, hey, I'll let you know if we have the need, but right now we're actually good for the month of April. So thank you so much to everyone who's kind of pitched in and just had the pay it forward attitude about the whole thing, and I love it. So yeah, it's been a good week that way. So the other thing I wanted to talk about too is just kind of like thinking about like where you guys are at. I know some of you are working more hours than ever. Some of you are, non-essential, stuck at home. Some of you are at home with kids trying to deal with now being a teacher or helping them with their online learning. And I mean, I can't even list all the different ways that we are stressed and trying new things. So I wanted to offer you an encouragement of just like some of my experiences in life that I think have been super beneficial to helping us weather stuff like this. I mean, first off is I would want to reference one of my favorite Bible verses or passages from Romans 5, where it says, rejoice in your present sufferings. For our sufferings produce perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. And the idea is that when things are inconvenient, stressful, and just suffering in some way, shape, or form, the normal human response is that we go right into complaining about it. We get fearful, we lash out, we take action without thinking about it. We don't think about the outcome maybe. But rarely do we natively just like, oh, what an opportunity. We can rejoice in our suffering, and like that's not the normal response. However, I have a couple times where I've gotten to see this in action in my life, and usually I've been on the wrong side of it. So one was I'll say a cool story. It was back in when I was doing in my training for the Navy. So this is my first thing I was doing at officer candidate school. And, it's basically like 13 weeks of people yelling at you, running around, the hop, and do push-ups everywhere and anywhere and all that stuff. And it's stressful. It's mentally trying. And we were getting towards the end of it. And, I'd been, because of like lack of sleep and all the running around we're doing and just like not the best nutrition, all that stuff, I'd been sick for the last like 9 weeks. They just called it the crud. And I was not having a great time, but I was I was doing fine. I was going to graduate and everything. But there were some people that were like nearly broken, and we were kind of in our last week, and they were just for old time's sake, they were going to throw us in the sand pit, and which is generally not a fun thing, is to like get go in the sand pit, you sit in it, you do flutter kicks, you do push-ups, and then it gets in your clothes and in your crevices, not cool. And then it was our last week. One of the guys, like, he like runs over to the building, and he like grabs like the water hose and starts hosing us down, which is only going to make it worse. And he is just like laughing his head off while he's doing it. And like most of the class is like, no, what are you doing? And the teachers let it go because they're like, oh, this is getting good. And what I saw was he had made it a game. Whatever we were going through, it was a game. And this was just like one more step, and it was almost like he had graduated in his head. So he was like, what's one time in the sand pit going to do to us? And it kind of dawned on me as like, he rejoiced in what everyone else was considering a suffering moment, and he was having an awesome time. It's just sand, it's just water, whatever. So that was like one of those moments where I was like, oh, maybe I should have been doing this all this time, then I wouldn't have found it to be so stressful. And I've seen that time and time again in my own life. And to be honest, I think you guys have too. The fact that you do CrossFit is, when you tell people that you do CrossFit and you're like, oh, you should try it too, it's a great opportunity. And they're like, are you on drugs, or why are you trying to, take your cult and go somewhere else? That's what you do every day. You willfully submit yourself to some sort of suffering. Like, other people look at it like, that is insane. I'm not going to do the suffering that you do. But you've gotten beyond it because you know what it's going to yield afterwards. Like, you're faster, you're stronger, you're more mentally balanced, you're healthier. And at a certain point, you're like, the suffering really isn't suffering because you've made a game out of it. You've decided you wanted to do this. And the only difference between suffering and I'm paying someone to do this is your attitude. So if I were to just give an encouragement, I have, a million stories like that too, but if I were to just give you an encouragement, is to, given your situation, whichever case you're in, you're stuck at home, you're like, how do I get a workout in because I've got my kids with me? Do it with them. Make it a game. Like, have fun. To be honest, like, like I said, our coaches are working really hard to like give you more opportunities, not just, challenges and Instagram story challenges, but also, now offering the Zoom classes. So if the accountability is, upped a little bit because you have other people to look at and work out with, even though, virtually, we're going to give that to you. But I encourage you, whatever you're doing, is to make it fun, guys. This isn't quite as miserable as we might fear. I mean, I just looked, and, as of yesterday, Sheboygan County, like coronavirus cases is at 10. And I know that's specifically those who have been tested in Sheboygan County. And I know there are more cases here, but a week ago it was 7. So right now we're not in a runaway state of community spread, which is a great thing going on. So part 2 of what I appreciate is you guys are helping our community do a good job so far. So I ask you to keep it up, keep your head up. Think of the big picture. Great opportunity, for us to be at home and spend time with our kids, and for our kids to see us work out or to join us. Like, maybe some of it, our kids don't even understand what we do and why we do it. And now that they see how fun it is, they're like, they get to understand their parents a little bit more. They get to understand why we do what we do. So I encourage you guys to have fun with it, find a way to make it a game, and find a way to actually enjoy something here. So hopefully there's just been a little glimmer of hope. I would love to hear your comments and your feedback, and hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. So talk to you later. Thanks.